Welcome to MotoGP 25, the brand new MotoGP game that just came out. Today in MotoGP 25, we're gonna jump into the career mode for the very first time, customize our character, and check out a bunch of the brand new features in this game. So buckle in. Huge shout out though to Milestone and PlayOn for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to check out MotoGP for yourself, as per usual, I'll have a link in the description down below. MotoGP 25 is available on pretty much every platform, from the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, the PC on Steam and on Epic, and even the Nintendo Switch. So go check it out. Click the link in my description if you want to check it out for yourself. So there are some super cool new features in MotoGP 25 that we'll get to in a second. Before we get into the new features though, we need to build our character. So we need to start up with their name and everything. The guys from Milestone really do let you customize a whole bunch of stuff. It is always awesome to see. I love this stuff. We've even got to choose our riding style in here so we can be balanced, centered, elbows to the ground. That's pretty cool. Shoulders out's pretty cool too. Or do we just go full body out and go for like full? Yeah, let's do it. Then we've got to throw our number onto our bike. I love all these pre-made styles. Then we've got to do all of our rider gear, and there is so many options in here. For things like your helmet, you've got a ton of different helmets that you can go and choose from. A ton of real life manufacturers. In real life, my bike helmet is an HJC one. Let's go for, mine's blue, so let's go for that one. We've also got to choose our off-road helmet. That will be important a little bit later. My gloves, I'm pretty sure, are the older versions of those. Oh wow, then you can actually choose all the color for it. Let's go for a nice blue. Got to choose our colors for our knee pads as well. Let's go for the blue. Very nice. 3 different colors of boots. Let's go for the nice Alpine Stars ones. Very nice, and match the blue again. In MotoGP 25, there's a whole bunch of features like the Grand Prix, the Championship, Time Trial, the Academy, so you can learn how to ride a bike, tutorials, and so on. Oh yeah, side note, there's also like race-offs and moto-tards and mini bikes and everything. Anyways, let's just jump into the career mode and get started. Now, what's really cool about MotoGP 25 is you can actually choose what series you want to start in. You could go in, start with the biggest bikes in MotoGP, start in the middle in Moto2, or start all the way at kind of like the entry point, Moto3. I think since we want to do a whole bunch of stuff today, we're going to start off in Moto2, and I think that should be good. And this is one of the big new features in the game. There are actually driver transfers, rider transfers. With market transfers, real riders will be able to change their team at the end of the season. So if we choose right now, play with the 2025 roster, activate the market from the second season, or start with the market already active, sure, and then we'll already see some people moving around. We can go for official calendar or short calendar. Let's go for a short calendar because we obviously want to jump up to MotoGP kind of quickly, so let's go for that. For the short calendar, we've got to fill up all 12 of these options, and we can go pretty much anywhere. So if we want to start in Austin, for example, we can do that. There are some unbelievable circuits in MotoGP. I love this. Now that we've started with our whole calendar and stuff, we've got to choose our team that we're going to join right from the get-go. All 4 of these teams actually give us different objectives. So like these guys, racing, we want to finish in the top 15 for each race. The championship, eventually we want to be in the top 10 and so on. Actually, they're all the same. This one, I like it. We are looking good. And immediately there are a load of market transfers going on. That is so cool. You can see all the Moto3 transfers, all the Moto2, and the MotoGP ones that went on. One of the final things we need to do before we go and hit the circuit is we need to choose our path that we're going to try to go down. We can focus on a rivalry, go head-to-head with this guy. We get a different reward for it, so we get like reputation points and a relationship with this guy. We can focus on development, like upgrading the actual bike or the prestige. I guess let's go for development, so we get that development efficiency bonus, because who knows where we could end up in the future. Like if we're making the jump from Moto2 to MotoGP, we probably get signed to a slower team, and we might want to work on upgrading the bike, so that might be important for the future. Now we can jump in to Circuit of the Americas for our first race of the season. The last thing we need to do before we hit the circuit is mess around with our game experience, and this is the biggest thing in this year's MotoGP game. If you've ever played a MotoGP game before, chances are you've probably fallen off a couple of bikes before and maybe gone too fast into a corner, turned too hard into a corner perhaps, or just wheelied so hard you fell off the back of your bike. Well, this year's game features a brand new arcade mode to it that basically makes everything a little bit easier and more forgiving. Do not worry if you're a hardcore person. You can go in here and still get like the full simulation from the pro setting, basically turn everything off, and the game will feel as close to simulation as possible. We're gonna jump back and forth between the two options. For now, let's start it off with arcade and just jump in with that and see how we do.
We're live from the Circuit of the Americas. The first qualifying session of the Moto2 class is about to start, and we would like to remind you of the rules. 15 minutes of time available. The 4 riders with the best times go straight into Q2.
So welcome to MotoGP 25 for our first race of the season. Welcome to Circuit of the Americas. Nobody coming out of the pit lane. Perfect. We've got to set our fastest lap that we possibly can and cross our fingers. I don't know if I've ever spoken about this before, but one of my first racing games of all time wasn't actually a car game. It was actually one of the original, like, quote-unquote MotoGP games. Back then, they were called Superbike games. I think it was called Superbike 2001 or 2002. And what's crazy is it was actually made by Milestone. All this to say is it's wild that it's all come full circle here. This is so sick. We're fully tucked in the bike. You love to see it. Different cameras. Dude, the camera angles in this game are wild. Oh, yeah. I guess I should also explain. I'm also playing this game on the PC, in case you were wondering. Through the final little bit of our circuit here. Turned in a tad too early. Dude, on these bikes, your timing needs to be perfect. If your timing is even a little bit off, ciao, count your lap out. That's crazy. All right, well, let's go back to the pits. Our first lap is done and dusted, but let's take a look at the results. Live timing at the moment. We are currently P1 because we're the only person who set a lap. Okay, everybody took my time down. Everybody took... Dude, I'm 3 seconds. I'm 5 seconds. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It's not looking great for us because we're starting in 18th place now. Rev up the bike and get ready for the green. That was the world's slowest... Thank you. That was the world's slowest reaction time. Anyways, you can see people's reputation compared to mine. If we start banging into people and annoying people on the circuit, my reputation with them will drop. Look at how leaned over and how early they lean over right away. That's crazy. We are looking good and sounding good. Now, there is actually another really cool feature that went on behind the scenes for MotoGP 25. I braked too late. I didn't brake too late. I'm a god gamer. Oh. I was actually having a chat with some of the developers who worked on this game, and they were telling me how they recorded the audio for the MotoGP bike. The developers were telling me what they used to do before is they used to just put the bikes on dynos and have the riders or somebody on the team rev up the bikes to a certain RPM and rev them down and so on and so forth. And they would just do it like that, and it worked. But they were saying for MotoGP 25, they actually went all out on the sound design for this game and actually threw microphones on the actual bikes being driven by the actual riders in like special practice sessions governed by like MotoGP, which is so cool. Basically what that means is all of the bikes in MotoGP 25 have the sound of their actual bike being driven on actual circuits by the actual riders. And all this to say, the sound should be simply lovely to listen to and very accurate. Oh, that was way too early on the brakes. Please don't give me a penalty. Okay, I just got a warning. Thank you. We're up to a P2. He's fighting back. Brake in. Missed the apex by a mile. And it's a drag race down the start-finish straight. Tuck in, tuck in, tuck in, tuck in, tuck in. Go. We need to go late on the brakes. Round the outside. Get him. Get him. Slowly lift off on the brakes. Nice move. Okay, now catch up to this guy. See if we can get a P1. Through the S's, though, is a bit sketchy. Block the inside a little bit. Don't brake too late. We're good. Cut him off. No, he's going to go for one. Switch back up the inside. Can I get an F in the chat for that guy? Something, homie had a skill issue, which was definitely all his fault and definitely not mine. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to catch up to the guy in P1. But we did decently. A P2 in our first race and also a life sentence, but don't worry about that. Very nicely done, though. I will take that. The guy in first actually went even faster at 2:05. After our first race, we get RP. RP is what like levels you up. So we're going from pro to remarkable because we're in Moto 2 already. And now we can head back to the team, focus on some bike upgrades. The track engineer says, hey, Nick, we'd love to hear your thoughts about the bike this weekend. So I think there's areas of the ride that we could improve. I don't think I have any particular issue. No, there's definitely areas we could improve. If I'm given the option, I think I'd like to focus on like handling. My bike is maybe too stiff. Maybe? Yeah, let's go with that. Because I did have some problems turning in a bit. We're off to France for the next race. Very nice. Now that we've done all of that, we can head off to our next race and on to the pro handling model. We get basically thrown into the deep end. On arcade, the game doesn't drive for you, but it definitely simplifies some things for you so you can have a great experience kind of right out of the box. On pro though, you've got to manage things like your fuel, your tire wears, your electronics. You've got to watch out if you overheat the bike, your tire allocations, and so on. I think I might come last for this race. Right out of the gate, you can already see the difference. You can see bike setup down there, our tire compound down there. Here we go, baby. Race number 2 for us in Moto 2. Okay, good. Nice. I did get a warning for a jump start, but that's because I think I did a burnout when I wasn't holding the brake when I started. But let's head up the inside. Go, 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 go. That's a little sketchy going into turn 1 and a guy's down. We got to try to not get taken out by the bike or the rider as they go sliding across the circuit. Now we've got to just pick up the speed, though. There's another guy down. Oh, my God. This is so much different. Dude, the pro assist? Dude, look how much the back of the bike moves now. If you're not picture perfect with your braking and you're on throttle, like I'm trying to throttle control and I'm still spinning the back wheel as we're trying to accelerate away from the corner. And we're just sliding around like a madman. Dude, we're all over the place. I'm definitely coming last in this race. Just retire from the race. Nothing to see.
In a moment, we will move live.
Now that we finished our Le Mans race, we get thrown into a special event. These are things that happen every now and again in real life, and we need to go and do flat track, motard, or mini bike. Could we go flat track? Flat track's kind of cool. Say hello to our off-road racing circuit for our special event for the season. So these actually happen a whole bunch through the season. They're a very good way to build up like your reputation and level up and like your experience and your relationships with people and so on. We're starting up in P1. We put it back to arcade, so I shouldn't fall off too much this time. I did spin the wheels a bit, but we should be fine. I love how we're wearing like these proper MotoGP like bike suits and everything. Meanwhile, we're racing these little basically dirt bikes, off-road flat track racing. This is sick. The leaderboard for flat track racing is gonna go so hard. I can see it already. It's actually so cool getting the back wheel to slide out on purpose. I'm trying to get better turn-in into the corner and get better rotation from the bike. So I'm using the power to spin the wheel up to get the bike to point in the right direction. Can I get a P4 on the final lap? We got like one corner. Can I go up the inside? Try not to ruin another guy's race. No, we're not gonna do it. Slow through the final corner. AR4 is back in business. We almost get our first reward for getting 100 points right there. We'll need to wait for the next one. But now we're off to the UK for Silverstone. So again, we're starting at the back of the grid for today. So we're gonna need to work our way up. Our team objective, P15. Let's get it. We're already tucked. Watch those lights. And away we go. Come on. Another bad getaway. Anyways, the entire pack of people are going to slow each other down through the first corner. And there's another rider down. We jump up 2 positions right there. And we try to go round the outside very, very wide. Did I just make up like 6 positions? Okay, keep up with these guys. Keep in a slipstream if I can. Get on the brakes nice and early. Oh, man, I'm turning in too much. That guy with a full send. Too big a send. Pulls up alongside. Gets a slight bit too much angle. Lean through onto the old start-finish straight. Dude. That was so scary. I just saw my life flash before my eyes. Unfortunately, I have dropped down to P24 after a little bit of chaos from, let's be honest, just about everybody out there. I must say, I really, really like this arcade, like, riding style game experience that I'm on right now. I know I'm not the bike guy, and I'm never gonna be the bike guy who's able to take bikes to 10 tenths and everything like that. But this arcade style, with basically the underlying assists that are going on, help me at least feel like I'm getting a little bit closer. For sure, I'm way, way, way off the pace. But the fact that I can jump in and have some fun races with the AI and not spend the entire time falling off the bike is just perfect. I thought he was going to hit that apex and come right the way off. But it's like, it's one of those things that kind of incentivizes you to learn and actually get better at the game and go, okay, I can turn that off. I can turn that off. And then eventually you jump up to pro. There's another guy off. There's another guy off. That's gonna give us a P10. Come on, get to the line and across. That's a P10. Shout out to the guy who fell off. Unfortunately, because of our poor performance at Le Mans, we dropped down to P9. We get 6 points right there. It's good, but it could have been better. So now we jump into one of the other things called turning point. We have a promising start. Our development efficiency is massively boosted. We get reputation. And now we can jump back with our race engineer and see if we can make things go a little bit quicker. I'm struggling to close the gap on other bikes. I love it. Yeah, just give me more horsepower, bro. Thank you. Anyways, let's put a quick pause in our career mode right there. Obviously, we can keep doing races to move up the ranks. We would need to wait for the summer break, do some negotiations with some teams, and we'd need to wait for the end of the season to actually move teams. But I really do want to go try out the true, proper MotoGP bike. So let's jump on the circuit with one of the real riders. I think we got to jump on one of the Ducatis. That one is so sick. Or we go with a Marc Marquez and go on that. Yeah, let's do that one. Let's do that one. Absolute classic. As for the circuit, let's jump onto the Red Bull ring. I really want to try out the top speed of these bikes. Let's go for a nice 7-lap race and let's start all the way at the back of the pack. Make it a nice sunny day. We should be good. So Marc Marquez, can we go from last place all the way up to first on the big MotoGP bike? This is going to be easier said than done. Rev up the bike, watch the lights, and away we go. Decent start, decent start, decent start. Look at all the aero on this bike. It is so sick. Brake, 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 brake. Sorry for the bumping, lads. Do apologize. Now I'm getting bumped. It's coming full circle. Essentially what MotoGP is compared to Moto2, it's kind of like a Formula 1 compared to a Formula 2. That guy's down. Long story short, there's another guy down. That guy almost hit him and did a wheelie. Jeez. Anyways, these are the biggest, the fastest bikes on the planet. The aero on the back of them is absolutely insane. The sound of these bikes is unbelievable. The difference in feeling, though, from Moto2 to MotoGP is crazy, though. These things are so less forgiving. You need to be even more, like, picture perfect than you are on a Moto2 bike. This is wild. Anyways, we've got plenty of time. We're 2 laps in. We're still making some positions up, which is quite nice. Trying to make some positions up here and there. Round the outside. The slipstream effect on these bikes feels absolutely insane. It blows my mind how early we need to brake for these things. Yo, it's Alex Marquez. Brother on brother violence. I did a corner cut. I do apologize. Ciao, little bro. See ya later. Up to P6. Get on the brakes. That guy's very wide. That guy's really... skill issue. That puts us up to a P4, though. Thank you very much. We're currently 2.6 seconds behind the guy in first. If I can keep this pace up, we might be able to get him. Okay, we can definitely do this. We can definitely do this. Oh, too late on the brakes. I got scared there. Come on, reel him in, reel him in, reel him in, reel him in. Where do I dare go for one? Do we have the speed here? Do we have the speed in the grip to go round the outside? Oh my God, this is a battle. Switchback. What a move. What a move. Don't let him come back on us now. We're good. We're good. Bearing down on first place. We are 1 second to the guy in first. Reel him in. 1.1 seconds. He's pulling through there. No. Can we gain? Can we gain? Can we gain? We're both miles off of the apex, but I think I carried a bit more speed. We need a full send here. Come on. Come on, Mr. Marquez. Brake. Defending up the inside. Do we... Sorry. Can we get him? Can we get him? Up the inside on the final corner. That's a P1 for the boys in red. From last to first, the Ducati can do it. Things you love to see, the boys in red up onto the podium. Beautiful. So that is your first look at MotoGP 25, the brand new game. I absolutely love this. Like I said, if you want to check it out for yourself, I'll have a link in the description down below. That was awesome.